With the increase in basic commodities, the cost of basic commodities, we have inflation in its all-time high, and the possibility of the country going into recession. Is toy hobby or things like this, toy collecting, still a viable option for people like us who enjoy these things? Well, for me personally, as long as I have a bin or a bucket or bins full of loose accessories, Loctite super glue, and an X-Acto knife, and my present collection, I am still good to go. So let's play. So action figures like this Sergeant Slaughter, which came from Valaverse Action Force, had a lot of accessories in box. But basically, do you need all of those accessories? I think the answer is no. You would basically want for a Sergeant Slaughter to look this way, because this is the look of Sergeant Slaughter that you grew on as a child or a kid. So personally, I would just like a few weapons on this Sergeant Slaughter: a pistol, a knife, and the three other accessories that he has to have. Basically, the campaign hat, the sunglasses, and a whistle. So the training baton or whip is just a bonus, but all the rest of the accessories that came with this action figure has gone to my parts bin or to other action figures which we are going to make use of. So these two G.I. Joe Classified Series action figures is not your latest and the greatest, but I know that you already have them in your collection. So if you're itching to do an upgrade just like me, considering Gridiron Studios accessories sets which are appropriate for each character, however are very costly at $31 or $29 plus tax plus shipping cost, then do you still go for it? Well, I did not go for it. I just studied my present accessories set and the ones that I already have on these action figures, and just tweak them a little bit more to extend the shelf life of whatever I already have on board. So let's examine subject number 1. So let's revisit subject number 1, G.I. Joe Classified Series Gung-Ho. So this figure, you could still possibly see it at your local Target or GameStop, and they are in quite good quantity. But I know that you already have one on board. Okay, so the first thing that I did to this action figure was to take out all of the excess accessories that was on it. So especially those shiny supposed to be metal parts or armor that was on the figure, I took them all out. So as you could see on the right side of the vest, including that protruding part of the vest which is painted in silver, I took out my X-Acto knife and cut it off. Now this vest looks like your traditional looking or military style load bearing equipment or body armor. So additional attachments to the vest, so I took a look at my 1:6 scale parts bin, and I had this really solid molded first aid kits which I took off from other 1:6 scale custom figures that I had a project on. So these parts I reconstituted it to make it look like an ammunition box. So I have two boxes on the left and on the right and on the left, and I also had a 5.56 ammunition belt for a Belgian mini-me. So it's an excess part in my accessory bin, so I made use of it. So it really wasn't very long, but just more than enough actually for this build. So I had a little bit to hang on to the side of this machine gun, and a little bit to hang on the sides of the supposed to be ammunition boxes. So if Gung-Ho runs out of ammunition, he could just pull a belt off these ammunition boxes. And on the side, we have a submachine gun. So why does Gung-Ho have a submachine gun saddled on his back? So that is actually from a G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra officer. And this comes from a Valverse weapons pack. So it's still in my loose parts bin, so I just reutilize these items. So as you could see on the side of the vest, we have these pouches which resemble submachine gun ammunition pouches or magazine pouches. So that's 3 of them that could possibly hold on to either a MP5 submachine gun magazine or an MP7. But since we have this on board, so might as well use this in support to that molding on the vest of this figure. And we have now main battle implement for Gung-Ho, which is the long machine gun, and in case he runs out of ammunition, he could still defend himself either with grenades or the submachine gun that he has saddled on his back. So let's revisit G.I. Joe Classified Series Roadblock. Subject number 2. Let's do a quick 360 of this action figure. So as you could see, the base figure is OEM, or originally designed that way. No changes on the base figure. So what is new on this figure is just the accessories that is on it, especially the weapons system. So the helmet is from an Action Force Valverse Garrison Cavalry action figure that I have on board, which I changed the accessories pack. This weapon system, this minigun, came from a different figure. So with the belt and the box and the backpack is from Action Force weapons pack. The holster and the revolver also comes from in Action Force Valverse Sergeant Slaughter, which I just showed at the start of this video. So I did not want this accessory with that figure, so I took a closer look at the accessory, and somehow the colors matches the vest. And when I gave this revolver to Roadblock, somehow this setup brings more spice to the character or the figure character. So a minigun, a big sized or high caliber revolver, and a lot of ammunition. And if you are a heavy weapons specialist, it is important that you have protection on your body. So a body armor and a ballistic helmet, and a ballistic helmet that offers face protection. So at a financially hard time like right now, is action figure collecting still a viable hobby to keep? Actually, the answer is yes, because you already have a collection on board that you could enjoy. Instead of looking out for the latest and greatest, you could already have a plethora of action figures that you could possibly customize, mix and match, and enjoy. But if you still want to purchase more, then you could still look up online or search for other collectors who are willing to swap or do other activities to continue with your hobby, keeping it at a financially viable option or something that won't really hurt your budget. So as for keeping this toy channel alive, I'm still going to keep work on making videos related to the things that makes me young.